I'm Jessilyn Matthias. I'm a program technician at the Center on Disabilities and Human Development for the University of Idaho in Moscow, Idaho. I do several things for the center. One of the things I do is present on self-advocacy issues. It's something that is near and dear to my heart because I believe all people should have the right and the opportunity to live the lives they want to and to be their own people. So I am presenting the topic of understanding self-advocacy this evening. So what is self-advocacy? When I think of it, I think of the ability to say what you want and need and get others to listen, and also to make decisions for your own life and stand up for your own rights. I found this cool picture of the surfer and the ocean, and to me, it's a metaphor that says that we should balance and navigate ourselves amidst the challenges and choices in life. Of course, just like surfing, this takes practice. And there's also a lot of different things to talk about when we're discussing self-advocacy, which we will go over in this presentation. Okay. So why is it important? Well, in my mind, um, a person needs to gain ownership of what he or she can control. There's some responsibilities that your child may or may not be ready for, or stuff that she should handle on her own, and to be aware of the pros and cons of and risks of any decision. Another important aspect is an increase in confidence. I find just in my own life, I am happier when I can make my own choices, and it increases my self-esteem to know that I can do this when I go to make choices or when I go to do things that affect my own life. And it reinforces that your child is also important in the decision making in his or her own life. Um, Self-advocacy also decreases challenging behavior. Um, if your child knows that he'll be respected and listened to, then when he articulates needs, he'll be able to tell you what he wants, so there'll be less acting out. And lastly, just to focus on your child's gifts and strengths, what they can do versus what they can't do. Pay attention to what he or she is good at, and it's always better to focus on a person's good qualities more than their bad qualities, or their qualities that may not be as strong as their gifts. And we all like to be acknowledged for our gifts and what we do well. So as parents, what can we do to encourage the self-advocacy and choice-making process? Well, first, you can encourage choice-making. For example, what they have for dinner, what they have for lunch, what they want to wear in the day. If there's important decisions that involve her or him, parents should be able to talk to them and show them that there's options that they can choose and that is their own life, that they can have some control over what happens in their lives. Secondly, parents and guardians and families can promote independence. For example, a parent can teach problem solving. What I mean by this is that you you give your child the opportunity to figure out what is difficult and how could they make it better, or what tools that they could work to fix the problem or the dilemma on their own. Um, and what goes with this is that the parents wait before jumping in to help. Um, quite often, it's happened in my life too. People are really quick to jump in and want to help and don't give the person a chance to be independent and discover ways of solving their own problems. Um, the Giving your child time to manipulate the problem on his or own first, and then offer support and guidance if it seems needed um, at at a certain point. Um, and allow him to do things on his own. Don't be a helicopter. Don't hover around, waiting to see a mistake. And just let them kind of do it on their own, and um, live their own lives and show that they're as independent as anybody else. Third is promote inclusive opportunities. For example, find activities where he or she can be both with their disabled and non-disabled peers. It gives an opportunity to get to know different people. It widens their circle of friends. They get to know acquaintances. They'll expand their interests, um, and maybe increase their community's supports, or people who are willing to kind of take them under their wing, or teach them different things that they wouldn't have experienced had they not been able to be out with their peers and the people in their community um, to interact with. Um, and People with disabilities, it's so important that they're out in their own shops and cities and in their community doing things just like any other typical person. And finally, have high expectations for your child. Having a child with a disability doesn't mean your dreams are disabled. They can still go to work, they can still get married, they can still go to college, they can still have friends, they can have kids, they can live independently. Sure, some things might be difficult or have more support needs, but by and large, your son or daughter can have an awesome and meaningful life. Nothing has really changed with the diagnosis or finding out that your child has a disability. It just may mean you alter things or make things or like adapt things more so that the same opportunities can be given. And keep in mind that your child hears what what you say to her and what you say to other people about her. It's just she'll listen. And if you tell her that she can do anything and she's a good worker and a good friend and a good person, then that will be more meaningful than you have to be home and you have to be away from people because you're different. We all like to be included and encouraged, and that hasn't really changed just because someone has a disability. So what is the outcome of all of this? Well, just like any other people, it creates valuable life experiences. We all like to have adventure and have fun and do things that make us learn and expand our worldview. Um, and she has excuse me, she has increased independence in her own life, and if she needs supports, that's fine. We all have things in our life where we need support or other people to help us, and it's not a stigma or a bad thing. It's just how life is. um and finally, she understands what she needs support doing and who can assist her. um she's capable of making decisions and is aware of the resources and supports she has available to her, both at home and in the community where she lives. And just like all of us, that's a really important thing to have. And and another really meaningful thing is that all people have rights, and sometimes people who have disabilities don't always realize that, and they don't realize that they can be educated about the laws and protections just like anybody else. And he can advocate for himself if something is wrong. It's having the courage and the ability to say no, or to understand when something is wrong or not going well, is really important for everybody. um, and finally, she deserves to be an interdependent part of her family and community. And I say interdependent because where I work, we understand that everybody kind of relies on each other and is dependent. No one does anything by themselves. Um, People should be independent to make their own mark in the world, but we are all connected to each other, and we all have an opportunity to help each other and to learn from each other, and that's really important. And and part of everything is risk taking, and we all need to be important enough to realize that we need to grow and we need to take risks. And I think that's really important for self-advocacy, because I can tell you personally that it's really opened doors for me, and I understand that without taking a risk and being independent, I can't find my own place in this world, and I can't figure out where I fit in, and where I can make a change unless I go out there. And it's similar with your children, or people who who have disabilities, who have great potential, but they don't always know it or act on it. So as parents and caregivers and family, it's really important to encourage them and to be that force in their lives that tells them that they can have a meaningful life. Um, so that's all I have. Any questions? I would love to hear how you are making an effort to teach or promote self-advocacy in your own kids. It's really important, and thank you for having me.